Hi, David Dannon here, Dannon Yoga. Today we are going to start off, we're going to cover the what is and why is yoga. I have a friend and he has vast amounts of trivia at his fingertips. He can make conversation with anybody about anything, and his favorite saying is knowledge is power. And I really believe that knowledge of yoga, the tradition, the practice, can only help you in your pursuit of yoga. So today we're going to cover the very fundamentals of it in terms of what it is and why it is. What is yoga? If you've been around any length of time or taken a teacher training, or you know that yoga comes from the Sanskrit root word yug, to yoke, or to connect or unite. And in the past, many sort of definitions were thrown out by yoga teachers about what that meant. Nowadays they don't really even address it because most people just come to yoga to work out. But the point is that they used to say, oh, it's a connection of body, mind, and soul, and or body and mind, or whatever. But actually, that isn't what it is. Yoga, the connection, was created in a more enlightened age. If you look at history, you can see that. We have evidence of ancient civilizations that had great technology and knowledge, and all the way down, now we've descended down into the Dark Ages. And according to the cycles of yoga ages, we're on our way out of the Dark Age, the Kali Yuga, and we're coming up into a more enlightened age, and that's why we've discovered electricity and atomic energy, and now we're discovering subatomic particles and all that sort of thing. But, so the yogis, the ancient yogis, set about to create a science that would alleviate suffering, physical, mental, and spiritual. And it's interesting because Buddha was born a Hindu. And so even in Buddhism, the fundamental tenets of Buddhism, the very first one is life is suffering. The second one is source of the suffering is attachment. Third one is there's a remedy for it, and it goes on and on. But the point is that the ancient yogis were trying to discover a relief for human suffering. And they found that the way to do it was through connecting the individual soul with the collective spirit, thereby bypassing the entanglements of the mind and the body. And so that is essentially what yoga is and the reason, the why that it was created. In India, over 90% of the people that practice yoga don't do physical asana. They practice yoga as a means to that end, whether it be bhakti yoga, karma yoga, whatever type of, there are a lot of different paths of yoga to get to that point, but that's what they're doing. So why does this make any difference? Well, you can practice a lot of the fundamental choices of yoga in your yoga practice while you're on the mat. Pranayama doesn't have to be a sit there and do your alternate nostril breathing or whatever. Pranayama, you can practice it on the mat. You can practice focus. You can practice concentration. Full-on meditation, maybe not so much, because there are people that would say movement and sweating and all that is not conducive to pure meditation. But it is okay for concentration, which is the prelude to meditation. So that's why an understanding of this can help you. So I compare it to the gift with purchase. And the girls know what a gift with purchase is. It's when you go to the cosmetic counter and you buy your cosmetic and they give you free stuff. It's the gift with the purchase. And that's the way I look at it with yoga. I used to have a friend when I was a young kid. We used to go surfing, and basically the best thing you could do is have a car to get to the beach. So we had this friend who had a car, and he would drive to the beach and we'd all go surfing. But he never took off on waves. He would paddle out and he'd hang out and he'd talk to everybody, but he never took off on waves. And he was looking for a tribe. He wanted to be, somebody to hang out with and socialize with, which is cool, believe me. But I always thought, dude, you drove your car down here, you waxed your board up, you paddled out. Why not take off on some waves? And so that's kind of the same way I feel like with the gift of purchase with the yoga. You paid your money to be on the mat for 90 minutes or 60 minutes or 70 minutes or whatever it is. And why not? All it takes is some intention, some thought to put into your practice to maybe bring you some of those gifts of relief of suffering. Could be worth a try. Anyway, thank you. Namaste.